You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet.
Hello.
And welcome to a smoking episode of the TADPOG podcast.
Somebody stop us.
Somebody stop. Really, it's been like 12 years. Somebody stop us.
Consider it. A few people have tried.
Asking.
Yeah, that's true. That is unfortunately very true.
A few people have tried, yes. Actually, somebody don't stop us.
Yeah, we'll stop when we're ready.
Yeah.
Haters.
We'll stop when we're ready.
Maybe we won't.
And maybe we won't stop when we're
Some
ready.
haters, some good friends that are just concerned. Fuck you, fuck them all.
We'll stop probably a year or two after we're ready.
Well, today, courtesy of the mini randomizer, we'll be talking about the man.
The mini movie randomizer.
Yeah.
I like this run that we're on. I like this movie run.
Me too.
But before we delve into both the movie and the game, The Mask, what you guys been doing? What you been up to?
Oh, the usual. I got a couple of days off work, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it's always good.
Yeah, I get to about 5 days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the weekend. So that's nice. I started listening to book 3 of the Dresden Files, but I'm not very far into it yet. So far, I've enjoyed.
Is that the Necromancer one?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
I can't even remember the title of it now.
Is it Deadbeat?
Ghost something.
Okay, there are 2 that are necromancy heavy.
Okay, well, it's good. There's some characters in it that I question, but I also understand the need for the characters as the way that they are. Michael being one of the ones that just drives me fucking crazy.
Oh man, I fucking love Michael Carpenter.
I
Holy
like
shit.
him, but I don't do well. I don't do well with like lawful good paladins, and it's just like I don't know how people function.
Well, I remember when Wiley read the Dresden Files, he got to Michael and we were talking about it, and he was just like, Michael makes me want to cry. He's like, because
Fig 8.
Fig 8. Fig 8 will make him cry. Because he's just like, he makes me feel bad. Like, I want to be Michael.
Yeah.
Michael's what I strive to do, and I know I can never do it.
I don't want to be Michael. I don't. I want a little bit of debauchery in my life. This guy gets mad when you call in a favor or you do he's so perfectly perfect, and
Even better yet, his mercy and forgiveness is also perfect. You can't get mad at him because he's like, language, but it's okay.
he's a good ally to have as far as I've been able to tell thus far. But anyway, I've done that, and I picked back up on. So after the new season of The Boys is out, and I've caught up to it, but when I finished running through The Boys the first time, I then went to Gen V, which is like a spinoff of The Boys, and then I was told to watch this show on Amazon called Invincible, which is
Invincible's fucking great.
It's an animated show.
Some of it, not all of it.
I started it, but I only got a little bit in, and then something got my attention, and I got away from it. I've gotten back into it, and I thought, well, I don't really get it. I don't really see the point. And then it got about halfway through episode 1, and I was like, oh, here we go.
Omni-Man is what Homelander wishes he was.
Yeah, it got really like adult really quick, and so it's right up my alley. I'm enjoying that a lot. So I've been watching Invincible, and honestly, there's really not been a whole lot else going on. I do have a Mercari update for any of you that are interested.
Hot up the presses.
today my packages arrived.
Nice.
And
they were right, and everything was good.
Well, before they got to me, the one that was dickering over 86 cents or whatever sends me a direct message on Mercari because apparently they got the notification that the package was out for delivery like I did. And it was still on the truck. And this was probably about 1 o'clock this afternoon. I get this message from her that says, if you could please rate as soon as possible, because, you know, I explained Mercari
they don't get paid
holds the money until I check the box and say that I'm okay with everything and rate the seller. And so she's like, I could really use that money. So if you could just please rate as soon as possible, that would be great. And I was like, well, I haven't received it yet, but as soon as I do, I'll inspect the contents and I will rate appropriately and you'll get your money. I did not choose to go into how it took her 5 days to bother getting it shipped to me to begin with. And, you know, it's like, how about I make you wait 5 extra days like you made me wait? I lost my money. You're going to have to lose your... I decided, you know...
You can expedite my rating for 86 cents.
Hey,
yes.
I like
if you'll
that.
PayPal me 86 cents, I will rate you as soon as I can.
That's your rush rating fee.
Exactly that. It's weird that she was dickering for that exact amount of money because that is my fee for quick rating. I've got a card that says so and everything. So the packages did arrive shortly before I left to come here. And so I had two orders from two different people. One was supposed to arrive Friday, but they both arrived today. So I went through the one that she sent. It was like 5 pops. One of them was the larger size one.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that, I think. And they were in way too big of a box. There was hardly any bubble wrap or packaging. There was one sheet of like really small bubble wrap around the big one. The rest were just in the box. There was one Dollar General shopping bag, and you know, people a lot of times will use Walmart bags and stuff as packing material. Yeah. There was one Dollar General bag in the box, and the rest they are. It's really hard to come by shopping bags, especially
as we all know.
Like I don't have literally an entire trash can full of them. That I could use. I've got enough shopping bags. I'm rich.
Yeah,
did I mentioned that I was rich because
we know you don't have to mention it.
They called me the dollar store baron.
I could pack up everything in this room, and ship it with all the bags. I have.
Bonus content. Ian bags up everything in TADPOG Studios. Patreon.com/TADPOG.
It's
the
there.
dollar store bag challenge.
There, but
That's some Tom Sawyer ass shit. You like trick someone to help you move.
We're gonna do a 24-hour challenge.
So
that would work on children.
Yeah, it would. Believe me, Ken is always telling me about the 24-hour challenges she's gonna do.
All right.
I'm not getting off this couch for 24 hours, Daddy. Okay, good challenge.
What are you going to do if you have to pee? And then immediately she'll have to pee.
How about you do a 24-hour challenge with something you don't want to do?
Yeah. I'm going to behave like completely normal for myself for 24 whole hours.
Oh, God, that's tough.
Rate me, like me. So I opened the box and, you know, there was all that. And the smaller pops, the normal size ones were kind of just packed in there terribly loosely. One of the boxes split open, which I'm not buying these for like, I'm buying them for me, not for like I will sometimes buy one that has a damaged box just because I want it and I'm going to sit on my shelf. I don't care. I'd like it to be in great condition, but if it's a little damaged, it's not a big deal because I'm not.
Do you keep them in the boxes, or
I keep them in the boxes?
Them you do?
Yeah, I don't take them out.
So the box sounds important then.
It is important, especially if you're like a collector. Mm-hmm. Most people are concerned with the box being in perfect condition.
Sure,
and sometimes, you know, if you don't have it in a box protector, It's not the same, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that as much. As long as the box isn't completely ruined. If it's got a little tear in the back or something, I'll mend it with a little tape and I'll put it on the shelf. I'm not going to, if I sell it, I sell it, but I'm not trying to like hoard it for like, these are not going to be worth enough to retire on. They're for enjoyment.
Are there like grading services for these, like comics and
I
video
think so.
games and stuff?
I think so, but I haven't really delved that deep into that part of it because I'm just concerned with, I want them for I've got a project going right now for these that I'm doing.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned
collecting
you want
one of each.
Right. From Overwatch,
Overwatch
right?
hero, yeah. I've got a lot of them now. I'm like really close, and there's a couple of heroes that they never made pops for.
Really?
Like weird. Recent heroes, like newer ones, but they're probably never going to make them because everyone hates Overwatch apparently, and they don't make stuff for it anymore. But anyway, so there was one of the boxes had split open. One had a little tear in the back, and there was some stuff and none of this was mentioned in the sale. Like in the listing, there was no mention of damage. So it either was damaged and they didn't mention it.
Right.
And they haggled with me over 86 cents.
Sure.
Or it was damaged because the packaging was done very, very sloppily.
Do they do photos and stuff on Mercari like they do on eBay?
And there was one picture of them and no mention of the condition. But the picture, everything looked fine. And again, my thought is that it was probably damaged in shipping because they weren't like they're cubes.
Yeah, sure.
You can find a box and put cubes real closely packed together, and they'll stay still, and they won't get damaged. These were like just random.
Rolling around.
The box was too big, and they didn't pack enough material in there to keep them still. So I did accept the order. I rated her 2 stars. Wiz and Sage says, don't check her out.
Is that 2 out of 5?
2 out of 5.
Okay.
And she had a perfect 5-star rating. But she doesn't have that now. Ooh. And in my description, I put, shipping was delayed by several days. Item was not packed. Items were damaged. I was not informed of damage prior. I went through the whole list and hit submit. So I'm okay with what she sent because, like I said, I'll put a little tape on or I'll make it worth my while. But for the haggling bit over just being an asshole about the haggling and then the delay in shipping and then all this stuff she doesn't deserve, I'm not going to pander. No, I assume that she's still going to get her money, but I'm kind of hoping that Mercari reaches out and says, you received a 2-star rating. Is it because you suck or what? But because the other order that I had placed, the guy shipped it the next day. It was packed properly. Everything was exactly as described because he had multiple pictures. That's the way it went. So he got a 5-star rating.
Yeah, that's 5-star service.
It's 5-star service. But anyway, I didn't know if anyone wanted to know about that since I had talked about it last week. But here we are. I've got all my pops that I ordered, for better or worse. Tempted to put that woman's name, Mercari name, up on the Discord, bit.ly/Discord. I may yet.
That's a good place for it.
Let's all buy as much like low dollar stuff that she has posted just to make her super busy for no reason.
There's not a lot of low dollar stuff on her profile. And she's an overpriced seller.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I still got I think I still got the better deal, but I would have liked to have known if the damage was before.
Sure.
There's no way for me to know,
right.
But I can tell you it wouldn't have mattered because the way I don't understand. Like she must have failed kindergarten because I don't understand how you can't just get a smaller box.
Explains why she makes a big deal over 86 cents.
Put blocks. It's a lot for a kindergartner. It is. Put blocks right next to each other. It's all part of the stuff we learned growing up. But anyway, that's my Mercari update. I'm sure there'll be more because I'm gonna use it again. I'm not. It
Yeah.
hasn't turned me away from Mercari. It's
It
not.
doesn't sound like the services.
It's just that
Yeah.
the service wasn't to blame here. It was the person. That's what you get sometimes. So
I need to look on there. I still haven't looked to see. It's been a long time since I looked for video games on there, but
yeah, I may look those up and send you a couple of links just to
Yeah,
see,
that'd
because
be
I don't
nice.
know what's good and what's price wise, what's good or bad or
yeah.
whatever.
Brandon of Axelay fame, he told me about Mercari like a long time ago. Like, I mean, I felt like it was like 5 years ago or fuck, even longer than that. And I went and checked and it was like, man, everything's really expensive on there, but I haven't looked recently.
I think it was pretty new 5 years ago. Because I remember
it was-
seeing like they probably had like a fucking Super Bowl commercial or something when they launched, as an eBay alternative kind of thing
sure.
or whatever. But I know that I've found some pretty good deals there. So I think over time it's gotten better.
That
I
makes
think
sense.
More
More product.
people have gotten in there
Yeah,
and
sure.
they're selling more things. And
When he told me about it, it was like new.
Yeah.
It was one of those where it's like, it felt like they didn't have a lot on there.
I think that's probably what the case was. Yeah, I definitely would check it out because it's been a good resource for me, especially for things like collectibles and stuff that people just have that they're just trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just really cool about giving you a deal, except for the one person that I've dealt with. Most people have been really cool about working with me. So
Cool.
yeah, it's definitely worth a shot. But that's it for me. What about you, Dave? What have you been up to?
Been playing Dawn Trail a lot. I like it a lot. I think it's good. I think it's a good expansion. I haven't really read a lot of the feelings about it. I trying to avoid that. I've seen some like subreddit post titles and stuff though,
Yeah.
where it's like it seems pretty from those post titles seems pretty mixed, but I've been enjoying it. It's kind of a departure from the other expansion packs, and it's, in my opinion, I think is a good thing. I think it's nice to do something different every now and then, and this feels more character driven than some of the other stuff. And it's also one of those things where it's like, because it is character driven, and if you don't like the characters, it's going to be a problem. But I like the characters. I think it's good. I'm almost through it. I've been playing it a lot, and like forcing myself to go outside, and because I've been off work, so go outside, walk Clementine, come back, do a little yard work, come back, so it's not just this constant stream of playing Final Fantasy 14. But yeah, I got Warrior to 100, which is a new level cap. Dancers at like 95. Got my crafters at like 95. So doing pretty good.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Doing pretty good. A lot of cool zones, a lot of neat stuff. They didn't do a whole lot with the jobs, and that might be some of the other criticism, I don't know, that people have. Because there have been expansions where like a lot of new stuff has been added to jobs. And in this one, it kind of seems like you kind of have the same kit, but there's more. It's just more improved. Like there are improvements to your abilities and stuff. I like that because I don't have to relearn a bunch of jobs. But I could also see if you're someone with like a lot more time and you like things to change drastically every expansion, I could see you being disappointed with that. But yeah, it's been good. I haven't. So I've been on like a media lockout because I was like, I haven't watched anything other than The Mask. Which
is typical for a week.
Yeah, I know, right? I got my weekly viewing of The Mask in. Check that off. Whew.
Almost missed it.
So yeah, but other than that, I haven't been watching anything. I've watched no movies, no TV shows, nothing. I've paused Dungeon Crawler Carl at the beginning of book 3. So yeah, it's just been.
I've turned Blake on to, by the way.
Oh, I
Blake is
imagine
very much. He's really.
I'm
enjoying
surprised
it.
that he hadn't read it because it does very much seem like a Blake.
Yeah, 'cause he was like, I was looking for something a little more casual, and this is like perfect. Plus, man, it is a dopamine like just constant. Like every time they hear loot box, I'm just like, fuck yeah, come on, fuck over that loot box.
New achievement that gets my dopamine going. I'm like, oh, I want to see what did he get. Yeah.
I don't get that. I like Dungeon Crawler Carl. I don't get that same hit though. I wish that I did.
Yeah.
Because what happens to me when I hear new achievement, I like the titles. It's all
those are
very
funny.
clever. The loot boxes though, they wash over me because it's just
There's a
like
lot of detail.
it's just like a list of things, and I just kind of like I can't like. Part of my brain is like, pay attention to all of this, memorize it because it's gonna come up, and then another part of me is like, dude, fuck it, you're not gonna remember all this shit.
He reminds you, and he does at some point, probably in book 3, if I had to guess. They start to the author starts to gloss over things a little bit more,
Really?
and really only puts focus on stuff that might be handy to remember later, but when that thing comes
We should
up,
start taking all the corpses we find.
yeah,
Really, Carl?
is that right? I mean, you got unlimited inventory, you might as well, right? But when that something in particular comes up, he's good about reminding you, hey, remember when we did this loot box back 3 chapters ago and this thing was a thing? Well, now it's important.
I
So
like that.
it's pretty good about it, but the first 2 books were pretty heavy with
The stats.
it was
when they're,
lore
like,
building.
yeah,
It's
sure.
lore building.
I like it, but
Yeah.
there are parts of it where it's, and we kind of talked about this briefly when
Yeah,
we were done
on our
recording
way
last
out,
time,
yeah.
where it's just like, there are parts of the book where it's just like, all right, I know, yeah, okay. Like, it's just numbers. It's like strength, blah, 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 and it's just like, not listening. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah.
I don't care about the
Yeah.
stats. If they're, like, for me, it would work out. It would be like, strength, it's low. Dexterity, high. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 'Cause wait, what was his strength number before?
Right.
I'm gonna run back to the previous book and start over again from that
Right.
point.
Because even then, if our metrics are D&D terms and Donut's charisma is over 100, it's like, okay, that really means nothing anymore.
Right, right, yeah. I do think it would be neat, and I don't know how they do it in the like the Dead Tree, the book version, but it would be neat if they had character sheets in there, where
Yeah.
it's like whenever they gain, you know, when they allocate stat points.
You get,
Yeah, that
you get
would
a
be-
page
you
to
could
look
see
at.
it,
That would
yeah.
be
I
cool.
bet it
Yeah.
does, and I have a feeling that it's written that way. You know, like with charts, like the way the
Because
Dark
Blake
Tower.
bought the books, so
Oh, really?
I'll ask him.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the way the Dark Tower is, you know, there are illustrations
That I missed
that
totally.
you can't understand what you're
I would
seeing.
love to hear like the narrator try to describe. Okay, now there's an illustration.
There's a key, see?
It looks like
And on this key illustration of this key, there's like a little bump, and then another higher, little slightly higher bump, and then a little S shape at the end. You know, kind of like the author described.
That's the secret.
the
But there's a
Wasteland.
picture of it, I promise.
The Wastelands by Stephen King, read by a guy.
Well, and Brandon Sanderson always goes at the end of his books. He does like a more nitty gritty breakdown of the magic system. So the author always reads
Like outside
that.
of the story kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah, where he'll just like stuff you might have missed because it's complex. Here's like in Mistborn at the end, he'll break down every metal, what every metal does, what every combination, what you might call
boy.
somebody. So when the narrator gets to that, it's just like,
Yeah, that sounds like that's a skip to me. At least that section. I don't know, man. That's stuff I feel like I can read with my eyes. But when someone's reading it to me,
It can
is
be-
just like, whoo.
College
read that
lectures,
instruction manual to me out loud.
Right, yeah.
college lectures all over again.
Yeah, can we at least get a PowerPoint? Like, can we get slides to go along with this?
I need a
Something
star
can-
wipe if I'm going to adequately absorb this.
Right.
The official Dungeon Crawler Carl PowerPoint. They need to release that. That would actually be really funny.
Yeah, I would buy that for like $1. I'd buy that for $1. But that's it. Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail. Check it out. It's my second favorite expansion. So, not as good as Shadowbringers, in
Yeah.
my opinion, but good. It's a good one.
Melissa and I watched Lisa Frankenstein.
I haven't seen that yet. How is it?
What was it?
Lisa Frankenstein.
Lisa Frankenstein? I don't know what it is.
So it is. It's sort of like a weird
Like a
retelling.
Simpsons thing?
It's close. It's set in the 80s with this girl who's moved to a new town, and no one really likes her, and she finds solace in this graveyard, and she's always talking to this one gravestone of this guy. And she talks about, I wish you were alive. I was, blah, blah, blah.
God, I
she
would
gets her
fuck
heart
you
broken.
so bad if you were alive.
Sort of.
Man, I would fucking, God, I get on that.
And the dude wakes up from the dead.
Well, if anything's
All right.
gonna
The
wake him up.
gravestone gets hit by lightning, and he gets up and he comes to her house. She's like,
Let's
"Oh my
fuck."
God!"
You
I tried to do those things you said.
And then no, it's good.
Is it a movie
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a show? Okay,
It's a movie. It gets away because Zelda Williams directed it.
Oh, okay. That's
So
the Robin
Diablo
Williams
Cody
kid?
wrote it. So it's very Diablo Cody. But yeah,
Now,
Rob
is that-
Williams' daughter.
Is it the 5th Diablo game or?
Yeah. Because what Diablo Cody did, United States of Terra, what's that one? Lucy, Daughter of the Devil. I think she did that. I can't remember, but
Writer, director, or
writer.
writer?
Yeah. She wrote it, and then Zelda directed it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. You said that. Cool.
But it was Cole's the girl who plays Lisa. Cole Sprouse is the dead guy. He did a good job. Not a lot of dialogue until the end, but
Owner of Kohl's.
yeah. But all in all, good.
Cool.
I liked it. The criticisms I read about the ending kind of getting a little unraveled, I agree with. But still, all in all, it was enjoyable. Didn't love it. Holy shit. Everybody watch this, but it's a good watch and very 80s-tastic, kind of out there. So enjoyable.
Cool. Is it on streaming or?
I think I rented it on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yep. And then went to Louisville for Jack's annual MRI. Everything continues to improve year after year with Jack, so they were happy with that.
Great news.
We rented an Airbnb, and a little pricey. And then when we get there, they didn't clean it. They didn't clean it at all. We walked in, there was hair in the bed, the dirty sheets, and
Free hair.
for
Sweet.
laundry.
Score.
So
Free
Melissa was
DNA.
just like, "Fuck this."
Man, if I were a witch, this would be real good.
Man, we should have some toenail clippings too. But they refunded us $120 for it.
That's
So
nice.
I guess it's okay, well, I can strip to change the sheets for $120 back.
Yeah,
that makes
really.
this cost a normal hotel room, and it was better. So there we go.
Yeah.
Had some good stuff to eat.
Sounds like
Good
you
little trip.
got your Airbnb from the same one that shipped me those pops on Mercari.
Oh man, that'd be
Yep.
great if there was a
God,
connection.
I hope it. I bet it was.
Because it was very clearly
I
like an
couldn't
old
package
house.
those pops properly because I was gonna go clean the Airbnb.
Some
But I
dude
stopped to pack
had a
the
hair
stuff.
up his ass about a hair in a bed.
But it was very clearly I like the way it was designed and laid out, but it was a very old house that had been flipped pretty quickly. It was just filled with modern but
Bees.
really cheap furniture. Bees.
A lot of IKEA, a lot of that kind of
Live, laugh, love.
spackle on the
Yeah.
a lot of more spackle than drywall probably.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it. Like my house.
But so last week we did talk about doing the sex position blind draft,
Yeah, all
You guys
right.
still wanna do
I
that?
forgot about that. Sure. Yeah.
which I've got two. I've got a five spot warm up draft. Can't go into a sex position draft cold. So I got a warm up draft and then a 10 spot sex position draft.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Here, I'll get you guys some paper.
Oh, that's a Post-it.
All right. So 5 spot first, 5 spot blind draft. Burgers.
Burgers.
Hamburger.
Hamburger. Okay.
All right. First, the Jumbo Jack.
What is that?
That is the signature burger from Jack in the Box.
I've never had Jack in the Box.
I've had Jack in the Box, but never a. What was it?
A
Mighty Jack.
Jumbo Jack.
A Jumbo Jack. So that's
I got to put that at
a
5.
5 for me because I've never had it.
Same.
I like their tacos. They're horrible, but I like them. they're like a tortilla with like a slice of American cheese in there, and they fold it up.
Yep.
White people tacos. Yes.
Yeah, they are. They are. Yeah. I'm a white person. It works out.
That's how my mom made tacos. Buy
Is it really?
the fried shells and put a slice of American cheese and then just, fry up some ground beef, throw it in there.
That's funny. Yeah, that's a.
We're not going to Taco Bell. We have tacos at home. The tacos at home.
We're not going to Taco Bell. We had tacos at Jack.
And she would not buy soft shell tortillas. She didn't like them. So I only had hard shell growing up. So once I left the house, I don't think I've had a hard shell taco fucking since.
Girl,
it's all soft
same.
shell.
I liked them as a kid.
My mother only
I mean, I liked them as a
bought-
kid. Then once I got soft shell, it was
Yeah, she only ever same. She only ever bought the hard shell tacos, and I didn't like them, but she didn't care. And after I was on my own, it was soft shell forever. After
It took
that.
me a long time to appreciate the corn tortilla as over the flour tortilla.
Yeah. I do. I'm with you now. Now I prefer a corn
Now
tortilla.
I do too, but in the beginning times, I definitely did not.
It is definitely a taste evolution. You have to grow up into a corn.
Yeah.
If you're a white person, you have to grow up
Yeah,
into a corn
right.
tortilla.
I'm
Yeah.
still not.
This isn't a Lunchable. What the fuck?
I still don't know that. I still eat the flour ones.
I mean, I like the flour ones fine, but I like the corn ones.
Yeah. Double up 2 hot corn tortillas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, the Shoney's All-American.
Oh boy, man! You said it, and I could taste it. I had so many of those. Had so many of those as a fucking kid. Holy shit! My dad loves Sony's and Shoney's. Sony's. It's a genuine Shoney.
It's genuine Panaphonic.
Oh, but there's gonna be better burgers than that on there. That's a good baseline for me. That's a Shoney's burger, number 3.
4 for me.
The Big Buford, which is the
With the cheddars.
Rallies.
Rally. Well,
Rally /
yeah,
checkers.
Yes, same
Yep.
deal. That's all right. That's a 4 for me.
3 for me. It's been a while since
Same.
I've eaten at Rallies. Like I lived in Lexington, and that's all we ever ate.
Yeah.
And I had the burger you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I haven't eaten at Rallies since
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
the 90s.
it's
Since
diarrhea
the
city.
mask
Yeah, oh,
was
yeah.
in theaters.
Since Mask was in theaters. Man, Taco Bell.
I didn't have Buford since 95.
Taco Bell gets like diarrhea jokes all the time, but like Rallies.
Rallies
10
is where you
times out of
really go
10,
for diarrhea.
It's fucking diarrhea.
If
Yeah.
you know, you know. Rallies.
If you're going to be scheduled for a colonoscopy, they're
Yeah.
going to have you either take the citrus stuff or go get a meal
5
at
Big
Rallies.
Bufords.
Their menu could just be like, what do you want your shit to look like? Or it's like brown grits. Oh, yeah, I'll have those.
Next, the Hardee's $6 burger,
It's a good burger.
That is a
which
good
now
burger.
sounds like a deal for
Right.
when it first came out.
Dude, when it first came out, that was fucking
what
wild.
the fuck? $6?
And they made it. It was
was their
brilliant.
marketing, yeah.
It was a marketing thing. It was we're gonna have to charge you way more than you would ever be willing to pay for a Hardee's cheeseburger.
Angus beef, dog.
It's Angus beef, yo.
Paris
but it
Hilton
was-
eating one.
At the time, it was a good burger.
Yeah, it really.
was a
I
good
remember
burger.
having one, and
It's
it was
still
like,
a-
okay, it's pretty good.
That's a 2 for me.
It had like fancy fonts and diamonds and shit. The
did.
$6 burger.
I'm gonna do 2 as well on that because I'm holding out that maybe
I know.
the last one will be something I
Same.
can super relate to, but
We'll see.
the $6 burger so far deserves to be in the 2 spots.
Pretty good
For
fucking
me.
burger.
It's a pretty
I don't know
good
if it's
burger.
I don't know if it's worth $6.
It's worth $6. They put bourbon in it or anything?
The last one, the Arch Deluxe.
Man, fuck yes. Yes, I saved the number 1 spot and it worked. I missed that fucking burger.
Me too.
I did. I also loved the Arch Deluxe.
I was a huge Arch Deluxe eater. I was so sad when that
the
burger
bun
went
was so
away.
different. That's what I
I
loved
know,
about it.
right? It was kind of split. It had that like pretzel bun look to it, but it wasn't a pretzel bun.
Back in the day, McDonald's used to innovate. You know, they would experiment, they would innovate, they would drag people in, kicking and screaming to try the new Arch Deluxe or the McDLT or, hey, the McRib is back. And it used to be a big deal. Now you like drive past McDonald's and it's got on the sign, McRib is back. And, you know, it's not like you see people lined up around the block to get it. But now their big innovation is a $5 baggie meal, which is a cheeseburger, a small fry, a Coke, and 4 nuggets, just like
Our dollar menu
Wendy's.
with an extra $1 from 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's just like Wendy's, and also they're advertising that as a limited time. You get either a McDouble or a chicken sandwich, and then the other stuff, and it's like, yo, Wendy's has been doing that now for like fucking
A long
time, y'all.
time.
Now you're limited timing it.
My
no
parents
one's
know about it.
No one exactly. No one wants to pay your prices. You got to be competitive, and now you're saying, oh, we're only going to do this till the end of the summer. See how it goes.
So our stock price goes back up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I saw where like you see the McDonald's in other countries have all this cool shit. And it's like, why doesn't it come over here?
Okay, I get
So-
that TikToks for that a lot.
Yeah, because I saw it all has to do with economies of scale. The U.S. is just so big, we can't have anything that doesn't have like an unbelievably large supply.
Right.
They had beer at the McDonald's in Germany that I went to.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I saw, what was it? I feel like it's Paris. You can buy a McBeach meal that comes with like a
A
giant
beach towel. I saw that on TikTok today.
Where was this? In Paris?
It was in Italy.
Is it, Italy?
It's in
Okay.
Italy. But yeah, it was a Happy Meal, only they give you a fucking beach towel
It's a
with a
cool-looking
giant
beach
McDonald
towel.
picture of French fries.
Wow.
It's awesome. It's
Right
like I
near
want
the
the
McBeach.
I want the fucking McDonald Happy. My wife would be like, go get us 4 Happy Meals. See if
I don't wanna do
see if
laundry.
they'll
Go
give
buy
you-
Happy Meals.
It's like when you got kids. With her all over again, it would be see if they'll give you one of each kind of towel.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, they only have 3 of the 4 towels. I'll call your aunt and see if they have the. See if they have
Check
the 4th
eBay.
towel.
Are they selling the 4th towel?
Yeah.
God.
Have you seen the Grimace one? The Grimace is 4 towels. It's 4
man.
different ones you join together to form Grimace.
Have you heard about the Grimace throwing out the first pitch at the Mets game? Oh my God. Apparently the Mets have like not lost a game, and the fans are superstitious baseball fans,
Yes, they are.
and it is all about Grimace. You can find so much great Mets Grimace content out there right now. I know about this because of Dennis, and he sent it to me and was like, dude, this is fucking crazy. Because it's like people take time to make these like really nice looking graphics of like Grimace in heaven, like looking down at the baseball field and shit. It's so good. People are going to the games dressed as Grimace.
Oh my God.
I love it, dude.
During
it makes
one
me
of the
want to get into
hottest
baseball. It's
summers on
fucked
record.
up. But it's like, dude, I didn't know baseball people were like goofy like this.
Oh, yeah.
That's some goofy
That's funny.
shit. This is a hunt train people of baseball. I love it.
The Red Sox won the World Series yet, Eddie? No, I want to say.
It was the Boston Breamers or whatever the fuck. This is in that.
So everybody, you happy with your 5?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that the Arch Deluxe made the top spot is all that matters.
Dude, that Shoney's all American. God, I remember taking that fucking flag out of that burger.
Dude, it's a good burger.
It's a good burger.
I was a kid once, and that was the way it was for me too. We don't even have a Shoney's here anymore, but we used to go there a lot.
There's one in Nashville that's like near the place we park
Oh,
when we get
nice.
when we go to the airport.
Yeah.
And every time, I mean, it's like within walking distance. And every
That's
time
awesome.
I'm like, I should go to that Shoney's. I bet it is the worst.
It's gonna give me something to complain about on my podcast.
And they didn't fucking change. That sign has been there since like the 90s.
It probably still smells like cigarettes
Probably.
from
Man.
when everyone used to smoke in there. You know.
What if it was like a thinny?
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys been to the Shoney's Thinny?
You go in there, and it is 1993. It's crazy.
You hear Shoney Bear calling you into the Thinny.
Shoney Bear. Yes. Man, I used to color those fucking placemats, Shoney Bear and Friends.
It's how you see it through the thinny is how it looks now, but when you actually walk through, it's Shoney Stadium, and it's this like super awesome Shoney's like outside a stadium with the big Shoney Bear on top.
I want to see a Hollywood Shoney's. I want to see that.
Planet Shoney's.
Planet Shoney's.
Melissa and I, we stayed in New Albany, just right across the river.
My
so we could just,
sister lives there.
Like, we really like it.
Yeah,
New Albany
nice.
is really nice. It's a lot cheaper to stay over there than just drive 10 minutes to the hospital.
is.
Oh, fuck yeah, it is.
So, but we went a way that circumvented Louisville, so we just ended up in New Albany. On the way there, we did see a Pizza Hut classic, like labeled as such, like Pizza Hut classic, and it supposedly looks just like the 90s.
I saw a TikTok about that as well. They've got all the old shit in there. It's just
Did they have the Land Before Time hand puppets?
Yeah, that would be awesome if they still gave away the same
Wasn't there also a
toys.
dinosaurs hand puppet, like the show Dinosaurs? Like I remember wanting the baby one.
Oh, yeah, that had to exist for sure.
Dave, the Land Before Time puppets were an exclusive, and Pizza Hut is not like Blizzard. They're not giving away those toys anymore.
It'd be wild if they re-release those out of nowhere. They're just like, they're back, and they spend like millions of dollars on marketing.
And then thousands of eBay sellers are like, what the fuck?
That'd be pretty great.
That would be, actually.
That'd be a fun thing to do. Like,
And
if
Hardee's
you had
brings back the California
money.
raisins that you could mold that made her pipe cleaners again.
If you had enough money to like tell a corporation where it's like, here's $1 billion. I just want you to bring back the Land Before Time hand puppets and market it like crazy.
Just want to see what happens. I realize it's going to take a huge loss. Just do that.
This is fun money.
Here's money.
Just do it.
Be like that.
Bring back your
fucking-
big glasses with all your classic characters on them again. Here's $1 billion.
I want those fucking Coca-Cola, Pizza Hut, those maroon glasses. You know what I mean?
Get. We got Cohen a Five Nights at Freddy's cup.
Yeah.
From like FYE.
Yeah.
That is that cup, except it's got a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza logo on it, but it's the exact same red cup.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go check that out.
It was like $6 for the cup. It was absolutely worth it. They're the best cups ever.
Man, I have so many memories of those fucking cups and those like Tiffany lampshades. I don't know what they are, but
I know what you mean. Yeah.
yeah.
You guys ready for the 10-spot sexual positions blind draft?
Yeah, we
God,
had
what
our
if
burgers. Now let's have some sex.
What if it went crazy and they did that and then it was like the fucking Szechuan sauce thing from Rick and Morty?
Just explodes.
Which, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this. I watched the entirety of Rick and Morty recently.
Oh, did you?
You
Up to
didn't mention that.
like 3 seasons I haven't seen.
It's fine.
Land Before Time fan base extremely toxic.
Extremely toxic. Way
Notoriously
worse
toxic.
than Rick and Morty. fan
Yeah.
base.
Whoa.
It's a
Yeah.
good show, but I don't understand where the fans get off being the way that they are. I don't understand it.
I liked it. It's a good show.
It
I
is a
haven't seen
good
all of
show.
it, but it's like funny, well
It's
written,
funny. It is well written. I
interesting concepts.
very much enjoyed it. I just don't get the fan base, but
yeah.
And plus, want to be
whatever.
intellectual is just beating off to it.
and I did not bother me when the voice changed.
The voice change.
Yeah, fuck Justin Roiland.
Justin
for all that
Roiland's
Oh,
a
yeah.
fucking
For
fuck.
like he like had a lady in his basement or something.
shit. Pretty much.
That was a joke, but
maybe.
I wish the guy from TikTok would have gotten it. But I remember there was
Oh, yeah, I
there was some
remember hearing
legal
about that
issue where
guy.
he didn't he was in the running for it to take over, but he ended up not getting it at the last minute on some sort of weird technicality.
like, you haven't abused enough girlfriends for this role, sir. So
We had used something called the Ren and Stimpy rule here, so
how many children have you? I don't know what Justin Roiland did. It was like a domestic abuse thing, right?
I think it was like talking to
was-
underage.
Oh, it was
underage
good.
girls. I do
Oh,
think
okay.
it was like
Oh,
that.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Call
He,
it
uh,
Tug there.
I was watching. It's
Allegedly.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. That's important.
funny. Yeah, he still gets credited for creating the show with alongside Dan Harmon or whatever. But I was watching Invincible, and one of the early episodes, there was a voice actor. There's a lot of voice actors in Invincible, like a whole lot of recognizable voices, and kind of like in Rick and Morty, actually. But Justin Roiland I recognized his voice. He was one of the characters. He was only a bit part in the episode, but I recognized his voice. And in Amazon, you can do the X-ray thing. You tap and you see who's like you see a bio of the actor that's in that scene. It's kind of neat. But yeah, he was voicing that. I'm like, yikes, that's recent. Why is he still working in the industry?
Although my favorite Rick and Morty thing is, though, where they did the voices for that one court case where the guy tells the judge to suck his dick.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeesh.
Swifty still made me laugh. Like that whole, show us what you got. God, there was some really funny shit. My favorite character in that whole show is Summer. Mm-hmm. I fucking loved Summer.
The Mad Max world they go to.
God, she was the best character because when she showed up, she was always so glib and just so like, being so pragmatic.
All the characters balance each other really well.
They really do. Yeah, it's a good show. Anyway, sex positions.
All right, starting.
Okay.
Missionary.
This is 10.
10 spots.
Do they have that many? I like a missionary. Missionary's nice. You get to look in the soul of your person. I like that.
You soul gaze them. Yeah.
I do like a missionary.
But I don't know what like modifiers we're gonna have later on the list. Like I don't know if it's gonna be like
leg position,
missionary over shoulder. You know what I mean? Like
leg positions. The position of the legs do change the position.
Okay.
So missionary is guy on top, legs down.
Planking.
Yep.
That's baseline. That is baseline sex. That's 5. Yeah.
Next, doggy style.
Doggy style is good.
Doggy style is nice.
Now, let me ask you this. I know I'm asking a lot of questions here, but do objects come into this draft? Like later, is there going to be like doggy style, but with a mirror, so you get to watch yourself?
No objects, and I left
doggy
off oral
style.
and anal. This is just P&V sex.
Okay, so this is not doggy style. Only
Sorry, gays.
She's wearing the dick.
Oh, right. Yeah. So that means, well,
that's pegging.
There's fingers. Fingers are. There's fingers.
Let's not overthink this.
No, don't take this away from me. Let's overthink this.
Done been took.
Done been took.
I'm gonna go 3 on doggy style.
Doggy style is great. I'm gonna go 2.
It's a really good album too.
Yeah.
Reverse cowgirl.
Man, that one just so depends on the competency of the woman doing the reverse cowgirling. If she doesn't know her body or your body well enough, that could end.
Yep, with a broken penis.
With a broken penis. I do like it, but I'm gonna put that one at a 7.
That's an 8 for me. I don't know. I feel like you don't have I don't have access to my favorite parts.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of like, I always just kind of feel like,
there's your back.
All right.
But it's pretty much doggy style, only she's more in control.
Yeah, maybe that's my problem with it.
Yeah.
See, next is corkscrew.
Corkscrew.
Which is her you standing up on the side of the bed, her laying down on her side.
You said standing up. That's a 10 for me.
I understand that completely. Yeah.
No.
Her basically hanging her ass off the side of the bed on her side, and you standing up.
On her side.
Yeah.
I like that one. What's it
I'll have
called?
to try that.
Corkscrew?
Her ass is in the hamburger fold, not the hot dog
Right.
fold.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna put that at 6 for me.
It's still a 10. Standings involved. On one of the other podcasts, a previous episode, you were like, God, what was it? You were like, you were ranking, we were doing a blind draft, I think, for like bad feelings. And one of them was like, when she says, don't come. I think the answer to that is, okay, well, let me stand up.
I'm 100% with you there.
Do you want sex to last 5 hours? Let's both stand up.
You want to
I'm
make
gonna
sure
stand
you
up.
come before me? I need to be
I need to
standing up.
Yeah.
Let's see. The next one. Her on top.
Facing
You, yes.
Get access to some fun stuff.
that one, I'm gonna put it 2 because I find that can be a lot of fun because I find that to be the position where most women can orgasm the easiest.
Yeah, you get access to all the things.
Get all the stuff, and
You got
she
all
gets,
the dials and the buttons.
and the
Yeah,
switches,
do
and
it in
she
a
gets
sequence.
she gets to be able to make herself get off, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, it's great.
When it gets to that point, and she can be like, "Oh, thank God, I came," and you could be like, "Oh, thank God you came."
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that you can do it next.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love it.
I do too. I very much do too.
It's that's a 3. I'm saving the 1 spot for something I hope is on there.
Me too.
Ugh. God, but maybe it's a 4 because there's also another thing I like better than that. Ugh.
I've still got the 3 bottom spots from.
Next is
Going 3.
face off, which is like in a chair, setting up face to face.
I fucking hate that one.
Hey, I don't have a chair I could do that with.
I don't like that one. I don't know why, but for me, I don't mind standing.
It can be on the edge of the bed as long as like you're both sitting up face to face.
For some reason, sitting during sex is the standing.
That's okay.
That to me is like standing is to you guys.
Okay.
I don't mind the standing stuff,
I don't mind the sitting.
but the sitting I can't do. I hate that. So yeah,
That's
10 for me.
I've never
You don't mind the sitting, I don't mind the standing. One or the other.
levels, Jerry. I've never done that, but I'm not. It doesn't sound like something I'm going to try. So that's a 9.
That also tends to cause a lot of problems for men who go on stage at a strip club for their bachelor party. They're usually put in a not terribly strong chair while a stripper bounces on him in that fashion, therefore collapsing the chair and breaking potentially the hips of the man underneath her.
My hips.
Ask me how I know.
Oh,
it isn't me that it happened to, but I seen it.
I seen it.
It's rough.
That does sound rough.
The next one is called the pretzel dip,
Pretzel dip.
which is missionary,
Dip.
but she's on her side.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Missionary, but
So you're like laying behind her.
That's. I feel like that's different.
You're up on your knees in front of her, and she's turned on her side. So
Oh, that's
oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good.
I
one.
like that
I
one.
like that. I didn't know it had a name.
yeah,
Me
I didn't
neither.
either.
4 for me.
Yeah, man. I've only got 2 spots left in the.
I've only
in the
got
upper
I've only got
half,
1 up top,
and I'm
so-
saving. I got 2. I'm saving it for.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go at 6 for me.
I do very much like that one.
Pretzel.
Pretzel dip.
But the pretzel dip is one of those. To me, I feel like that is a transitional sex position
Gets you to the-
where it's like,
yeah.
all right, we're gonna do this for like
For a few seconds,
10
a
seconds,
minute.
and then we're gonna continue the rotation.
Yeah. It's like a space station. You know, you gotta go through the right phases to get to the final.
Yeah, exactly. It's a movement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a docking procedure. We're docked, but we haven't got the mag lock yet. See, so we got to get in. We got to turn.
Stop! You're turning me on, Ian.
Hold here.
I'm gonna have to draw pubic hair again.
Yeah, I got that around
I'll
here
do
somewhere.
it.
The next
It's
one,
your bookmark.
Yeah.
the flat iron, which is her laying on her belly, legs down, you on top.
The prone bone.
Yep.
Prone bone.
Love the prone bone.
I could take it or leave it. That belongs at the, what's it called?
I had it as the flat iron, but I like prone bone more.
That's
I'm
the subreddit.
I'm gonna put prone bone at 8.
That's a 4 for me.
I probably would move it up the list if I hadn't already put a couple ahead, but this list is probably broken by now anyway, so it's
I'm
fine.
feeling good with this so far.
I'm not
good.
terribly over it or problematic with it, but I've still got nine. I've got 9 and 1.
I got 1 and 7. This is where it gets real.
Yeah.
Where it's like, does it pay off me holding off that one spot?
Yeah.
Does it pay off, or if I could get stuck with like?
It's always when there's 2 left. That's always the hard one. All this time we've been doing these blind drafts. All these years.
All these long decades.
I've learned after many years of research that the final 2 choices are always the toughest. Tyler, what is it?
What's the next one?
The next one.
The next one I have is the Gee Whiz, which is missionary, but her knees are on your shoulders.
Oh, over like her her knee pits are on your shoulders.
On your shoulders.
Yeah, I love that.
It's nice.
I love that. But fuck, what's the other one going to be?
As I said, this is a good one. If the list stopped right here, I would have no problem with putting this at number 1, but it definitely doesn't belong in my number 9 spot.
Right, it doesn't belong in my number 7 spot.
All right, fuck it. What is it called?
The Gee Whiz.
Gee Whiz. Whiz. I'm going to do that one at number 1.
Me too.
And hope for the best.
The last one being
Please don't be mating press. Please don't be mating press.
ankle earmuffs.
Woo, okay, I like that. That belongs higher up than 7.
With her legs all the way back.
All the way back.
To your ears.
Yeah.
I like it, but not more than Gee Whiz. So
Same. Also, it makes things a little uncomfortable. Because it really...
But boy, that view.
The view's nice.
The view is nice. But, I mean, it's got to go in 9. I've committed.
7. Yeah, for me. Although I do...
We're talking about 10 of the 10 sex positions. This is all good.
Yeah.
They're all good.
Yeah.
Except for
the corkscrew.
Face off.
I like the spooning wasn't there. I like which I guess is the prone bone, but on the side. You're both on your side.
Yeah.
I like that.
That wasn't in there, but yeah, that is a good one.
That is a great lazy Sunday morning.
Yeah, don't have to get out from under the covers.
It's great.
Don't really have to work for
it's
it.
Fantastic.
She just kind of nudges
It's a crowd
back.
pleaser.
You nudge forward. The twain shall meet in the middle.
Big fan.
Me too. I would have been mad if the spooning had been the last choice.
I know.
And I had to put that
in
at
a
9. That would not have been accurate at all. I'd say this list is 83% accurate.
I'm with that. I am surprised if someone like picked this up and they're like, really, Gee Whiz is number 1. I'd be like, well, I mean, really,
Don't yuck on my yum.
yeah, I like it. It's. How about what I like to do is go through the list in one session.
There you go.
That's a challenge. There's a 24-hour challenge for you.
Did you say you had another one?
Nope, that's it.
That was it.
All
Okay.
right.
That's it.
Good draft.
Great draft.
Like the blind drafts. It's my new favorite thing on the show is the blind drafts. We're at about an hour at this point. Do you
Take a
wanna
little break,
Take a
go
break
in?
and then
Yeah.
come back and talk about The Mask.
Yeah, let's do it.
Take it home from Huntington Mall. Find the things that you want. Find it here and take it home. Take it home from Huntington Mall. Find the stores, find the brands, find the style and take it home. Color stores, style of brands, food and fun at Huntington Mall. Take it home from Huntington Mall. Find the things that you want. Find it here.
Fun, food, and the latest fall fashions. Find it all at Huntington Mall, offering 5 anchor stores and 150 specialty shops.
And now for the movie and game talk.
Yay, The Mask.
The Mask. Oh, good.
Oh, God.
I like that voice.
I want the Target lady to do that.
The Mask.
Kristen Wiig.
I loved the shit out of this movie when I was little. It was one of the first movies I ever saw in the theater. Fucking loved the shit out of it. made me love Jim Carrey, made me love comedy. A formational movie for me. I loved it so fucking much. I went and bought the book, or the book 100 times.
That
I love that you did
is
that.
the funniest thing.
I love that you did that. That is the most Tyler thing I've ever heard, and it makes me just feel joy.
Yeah.
So yeah, me in elementary school, like on the bus, reading the
course.
novelization of the math.
Yeah.
It's like
hell
me
yeah.
listening to the movie. Like I would record audio from the VCR
Yeah.
onto a tape and then listen to that on my way to school on the bus.
We were the true pioneers
Yeah.
of mobile media.
It's like I can't watch
access.
Murphy Brown on the bus, but I can sure as fuck listen to it.
I remember the pictures. I remember the pictures. It's like I'm doing something else and the TV's playing in the background. Yeah, I did that
You
shit
get it.
too. I did it too.
Because
I was raised by TV. What are you talking about?
I went back and watched the movie again.
How did it hold up for you?
Not so much.
No.
Jim Carrey's still amazing.
He's great
I
in it.
cannot imagine anyone else succeeding in this role, and the movie would have fucking flopped had it been anyone else. But that being said, like there were still like just some weird dead moments in it, or just him. I don't know, when he's not being very zany and just like walking for a few minutes. It just seems very
Not a tight edit.
right.
Yeah,
It's just
I get
very
that.
out of place.
I get that.
So
Yeah. I hadn't seen this movie since I was a kid. I liked it as a kid. I didn't like read the book. I like it like that much, but I liked it. I saw it a couple times. This wasn't my first introduction to Jim Carrey. And I remember when I saw the movie, even as a kid, I was like, I like this. This is good. However, I like some of his other stuff better.
I knew him from In Living Color.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fire Marshal Bill.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
Venus de Milo and yeah.
So, but I loved it. I still loved it. And obviously, I feel like rewatching The Mask, I've enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. It is not a great movie as far as like, I agree with you. I don't think it's edited very well. But I also think that's kind of part of the charm of the movie.
Yeah.
Is that it's kind of not super well put together. I think the script, outside of like the jokes, I think the script is real bad, and that in a way makes me like it better because it makes it funnier. Like there's a scene where like Stanley Ipkiss, the main character, Jim Carrey's character, at the end of the movie, like is going into the Congo Bongo Club to like rescue the people in there.
Coco Bongo.
Sorry, the Congo Bongos. What I said.
Yeah, whatever.
Donkey Kong.
That's a Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong
That's Donkey
Bongo.
Kong level.
Yeah, I think you're right. He goes in and like his
Go
buddy
from
is,
Treetop Town to Congo Bongo.
his buddy is there, and Stanley gives him a gun and says, "Help these people, help the people here get out the back." And I'm like, he just said that to explain why his friend is not in the scenes for the rest of this movie. It's like really obvious, like script stuff. But still, that was funny to me. It's outside of the stuff that's like the smoking, somebody stop me,
Spicy meatball.
that stuff that like just became like catchphrases for the movie, and then you heard in myself repeated ad nauseum at school and like all that. That stuff now is cringe because of like how much it got regurgitated.
Like Austin Powers.
It's Austin
Yes,
Powers.
right. It's a
Saturated to the
great-
point it's
yes,
cringe. Yeah.
yeah, that's a fantastic way to
Yeah,
describe it.
baby.
Yeah. Do I make you horn? Yeah.
However,
Can't even finish it.
I laughed so fucking hard at this movie. There's a scene where Stanley's in jail and he uses his dog to escape from jail. And there's a scene where he tells the dog to get the keys from the security guard, and the dog gets a slice of cheese. And that is funny on multiple levels because, first of all, it's a visual gag of the dog with cheese in his mouth.
And then he puts it down.
He puts it down. And also, it's funny to me that the dog is so smart to do all these things, but confuses cheese with keys. That joke is funny. I'm sorry.
Dude, listen,
I laughed, man. I thought it was great.
I got a relationship with this movie that it goes back to, I mean, I was 21 when this movie came out. This was not a kid movie for me.
Sure.
This was, I remember, I never watched In Living Color. And not because I didn't like sketch comedy, it just... There was something about In Living Color that didn't appeal to me. I think it was just too Arsenio Hall. It was too 90s. It was too pop and...
It was extraordinarily
cutting edge.
90s.
It was like whenever you would watch SNL as a kid and the musical number would come on and you'd be like, hurry up and get to the funny stuff.
How I still am today.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I never really locked into In Living Color. And I've gone back and seen sketches of that show, and I get it. How funny it was. It was a really good show. It just didn't appeal to me at the time. And so my first introduction to Jim Carrey at his finest was Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Yeah, sure.
We went to we lived next door to a movie theater in Lexington, and we walked over and went and saw Ace Ventura: Pet Detective just on a whim.
That's a fun one to go see blind.
I thought I was going to die. I was laughing so hard throughout that entire movie. I was not ready for Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
So at that point I became obsessed with the man. He is brilliant. His style, his delivery, everything about his, especially early on in his career. The Mask, Ace Ventura, both movies.
Yeah, Pet Detective 2 is great.
When Nature Calls. Yeah.
Yep.
And Dumb and Dumber. Even into this weird shit like Bruce Almighty and Cable Guy, and when he started getting into a little bit more lucrative roles, if you will. This movie, The Mask. I was studying graphic design.
It's a great movie for graphic design.
This thing blew me away. I was a huge cartoon kid. I watched cartoons. I was Stanley Ipkiss, right? I grew up watching these cartoons and being kind of quiet and not really very assertive and stuff. But we watched it. Gage loved this movie as a kid. We watched it so many times on video. And it was funny, I haven't watched it in a very long time. And I thought, much like Dave, that when I watched it, that it would be lost on me. That maybe that magic wasn't there. For me, that was not the case. I actually really, really enjoyed watching it again. I laughed throughout the whole thing.
I did too.
I saw it from a different perspective, and it made me respect Jim Carrey even more, just for what he was able to accomplish. He was really wearing those teeth,
I was curious about those teeth.
He was originally only going to have the teeth in scenes where he didn't speak, but he learned how to speak with those fucking giant teeth in his mouth so that he could, and it just added to the mystique. I love how he does the wolf whistle thing in the club where his eyes are popping out and he's mimicking that wolf that was on the cartoon.
Yeah.
He does the Pepe Le Pew bit, being super rapey with her about, being super aggressive, and, his whole soup to nuts, his whole act was in this movie was picture perfect.
He had to be his own straight man.
He really
as
did.
Mask
As
to
Stanley.
Stanley Ipkiss. He did a good job with that.
He did. This was Cameron Diaz's first movie.
Yeah, introducing
A
Cameron
hell
Diaz.
of a fucking way to start your career, because I thought she did a better job in this than some of the shit she was in later. Just because it just worked. She was the perfect choice for the role. I thought that I don't know if you noticed that the reporter, the redhead, that is
from Wings. She's from Wings.
She's from Wings. She's also
John
Maid
Ritter's
Miriam
wife.
from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh fuck! You're right.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So and then
hey, Blinken.
hey, did you say hey Blinken? But I liked
Achoo.
the dialogue. Bless you. I liked the dialogue, even though it was badly written. It was supposed to be badly written. It was supposed to be like a 20s gangster pick. You know what I mean? Only takes place in sort of modern time. I thought this movie was great, but one of my favorite things that I never really locked onto, but I watched this today. I love, being prepared. I wait till the last minute so that things are fresh in my mind because I lose things.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Milo, the dog.
Man, I had to look up Milo. I was like, okay, is Milo
I kept wanting to call him Rimshot.
Yeah, I looked to see if it was the same dog.
What's Eddie doing? No, what's Rimshot doing? Milo.
Moose.
That dog stole the show. I mean, that dog was great. The
Great dog.
scene where he was trying to get him to jump up into his arms, and he kept jumping on, scrabbling on the wall, and just
Put some effort into it.
God, the interaction. He gets him and he holds him, and he's pointing at the keys, and then
I
he
love
goes
that
for the
scene,
cheese.
dude.
That whole scene was. I said Eddie. Milo gets up on the desk. He drops the cheese, and then he puts his paws on the chair, leans forward, and grabs the keys ever so gently.
Gingerly, man. It's
just
great.
watching the cop. It was perfect.
Yeah.
The dog
It's fantastic.
Well,
was
the biggest cheer point in the movie is when Milo gets the mask.
on. Yes.
I remember watching The Mask with my parents for the first time, and my dad going fucking crazy laughing at the dog getting the
Oh
mask.
my God.
When we were watching it, Nikki was like she loves when the fucking dog's peeing on the gangster.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, to me, this movie succeeded in every possible way where Who Framed Roger Rabbit failed for me.
Hey,
I was
Roger
not-
Rabbit walked so the mask could run.
Exactly. I was never a huge fan of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Well, I was gonna see if you guys wanted to do next episode on Who Framed
We've
Roger
done it.
Rabbit.
We've already done it.
We did?
We did the game. We didn't do the movie,
I don't
but
think
I'm
we
pretty
did.
sure we did the game.
I don't think we have.
No, I don't think so.
Why do I have memories of that?
I don't know, because I looked to see if we had done it, because I was like, is that one that we did way back in the day? And
Maybe I just imagined it. I'm sorry, but
because there's
I'm-
an NES game
Oh, okay.
for Who Framed
okay.
Roger Rabbit.
That's the only reason I don't. Yeah, I don't
Right.
think we've done it. Just 'cause it's
Okay.
an NES
Well, maybe
game.
I was just dreaming maybe I'm from an alternate future. Or
You're from the Shoney's Thinny.
I'm from this.
Yeah.
I work at Shoney Stadium in this. So okay.
You're a, what do they call them? Oh God, what do they call them? Like oh my God, where someone would come through a thinny. They had a name for it.
Oh fuck!
Not a walker. Yeah.
I can't get it.
Yeah,
I
what they
can't
called
get it.
them in Maine.
I
Yeah.
can't get it.
Oh
Or
my
you are,
God.
Let my insight work on
Okay,
it.
yeah.
I'll blurt it out
Yeah,
later.
please. Can't wait.
But I liked Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
Yeah.
but it was too much. It was like the end of Ready Player One. The entirety of Ready Player One. It's just so much going on, so many references. I liked how this one was more. They created the character, and the character mimicked other things. And if you knew, you knew.
Yeah.
But I thought the special effects of this movie still hold up.
I thought a lot of them did.
Yeah, I mean, some of them were
some of them are
obviously
pretty-
a little,
yeah,
a
but-
little dated, but that's
But with
For
him
the
being a
time.
living cartoon character,
Right.
the Mask being like a living cartoon character, when he is attached to
Yeah.
Stanley, it makes sense that it doesn't always look perfect. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because it's like it's that early CG where it looks like it's not real. It looks cartoonish.
it's very cartoonish.
But his makeup is so goddamn good.
his
Yeah.
makeup's.
Man.
There was one scene where I could see his hair just under the line of the back of his
Yeah.
mask, just barely, and I can't imagine that was easy to conceal given all the movement.
Yeah.
I loved everything about this movie. I still love this movie. I still give this movie a solid 5 stars. Wiz and Sage says, check it out. I love the music. I love that swing was in at the time and they really jumped on that bandwagon. There's a lot of great music. There's a lot of great dance numbers. It's funny. It's safe for kids to watch. It's just got it all. And I was very pleasantly surprised that it held up for me as well as it did. You know, some of its little bugaboos notwithstanding, I really loved it. So, yeah, great movie. Great movie. Jim Carrey is one of the greats. He will always be one of the greats to me.
So I got to bring up Brandon, of course, talking about we had a big get together after church one night, and we're all in the living room, and you see Brandon's talking to his mom, and he disappears, and I try to go behind him, and his mom's like, no, stay in here, Tyler. Okay, that's weird. And then out of his bathroom runs Brandon in a full yellow zoot suit, fedora, oversized yellow suit, and a mask on. He runs out, quotes every quotable line, like spins around in a circle, and then runs to the opposite end and goes back. Because the way their living room was set up, Brandon's room was on one end of the house with an adjoining bathroom, then his living room and kitchen, and then the other side of the house where his parents' bedroom was. So he comes out of his bedroom, does his mash shtick, runs into his mom's room, and then Roxanne's like, "Who was that?" And then he, of course, then changes and comes through his front door like, "Oh, I had to go use the bathroom. Anything fun happen?"
Who was there? Like,
That's a lot of effort, actually.
My parents, the rest of the quartet.
Okay. So there was an audience.
I want to say his grandparents were there, his aunts and uncles.
Okay.
Yeah.
This all makes sense because I feel like that's important because that's a lot of effort to go through if it's just you. No offense.
Oh, yeah. No. Then it's
Like, if he's
weird.
Then he's like trying to really actually like fuck you up and be like, dude, the mask is real. I noticed you reading the mask.
Just gaslight you. It wasn't me. I don't. It must have really been the mask. That's a biography. You know that. Right?
And I don't know if it was around the time this came out or Ace Ventura came out, and I think it might have been like the MTV Movie Awards. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
But so Cameron Diaz is presenting an award with Chris Isaacs, and during it, Chris Isaacs, he keeps trying to kiss her, and she is clearly like, "This wasn't planned. This is not a bit."
Uh-oh.
And it's really cringy how she keeps trying to push him off, and he will not stop. Till eventually he kisses her, and everybody laughs, and they give the award to Jim Carrey. So when he comes up on board, he immediately grabs Chris Isaac and is trying to kiss him. And he's clearly pissed off Chris Isaac, who is pushing him away, and he's like, "Nope."
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. Show him how it feels. I love that. I love that.
And then the other is there's a picture of Kenneth Copeland preaching, and someone side by sided it with a picture of Dorian Tyrell in the mask, and they look so fucking much alike. It's crazy. Because when Dorian gets the mask, that's a good villain moment when you see all that.
Yeah,
and it's how they show you how the mask works.
Right. It
Because up
feeds on
until
your
that point, it's
personality.
kind of like, oh, it makes you a cartoon. But yeah, then you see someone else wear it, and it's like,
it's the legend of the mask is that the Odin banished Loki into the mask, and that when you put the mask on, it's Loki, of course, being the god of mischief, and you put the mask on, and that his mischievous characteristics then work off of your personality and the side of you that you would be if you had superpowers and no inhibition.
I love the scene where that is explained.
Yeah.
Because it's Jim Carrey and Ben Stein, and the mask is not working, and like just watching Jim Carrey like is great. It's just like watching
you
him.
You even hear him at one point with the mask on going, ha ha ha. Like he's trying to say the things that the mask would say to trigger it. And he's like, okay, maybe it only works at night.
Yeah, I love that scene. I thought
That's
it was
a great scene. Ipkiss, I like Stanley Ipkiss. You know, I like how he's just sort of afraid to speak his mind, but like when shit finally, he's had enough. He's gone through it, right? And of course, his shitty bank manager comes up to him and says, "All right, Ipkiss, you're late again." This is after the bank had been robbed by the Mask. But the other guys, the gangsters show up. They were already going to rob the bank, and the Mask was in there robbing it already and left them behind. And then they got into a gunfight with the cops. The next day he walks in and his bank manager's like, "You're an hour late. This is unacceptable." And then he just goes off on him. And it's one of my favorite scenes where he just tells him off. He's like...
He reminds me, he goes full liar, liar.
Yeah.
Yes.
That reminded me of Liar, Liar.
Liar, Liar. Classic fucking... That is a really, really good Jim Carrey movie. They're really...
The goddamn pen is blue. Yeah. That's when he brings the Mask into Liar, Liar.
Yes. That is all of his movies. I have seen very few of his movies that I didn't like, although you have to like some of his stuff for different reasons. The weirdest one is, of course, The Number 13. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
No.
It is out there, man. It is like... It is weird, but it's him flexing. You know, he's saying, "Look, I can do this." It's not. I wouldn't call it
like Eternal Sunshine. I loved him in Eternal
Eternal Sunshine. The Truman Show,
which I've never seen that. Melissa, that's one of her favorite movies.
Truman Show. I like
it's
the Truman
a great
Show.
movie. It's such a tearjerker. It's a really good movie. I really like Bruce Almighty. You know, I like the Cable Guy. I thought his character in the Cable Guy was spot on, perfect.
I think the problem with the Cable Guy, honestly, I need to rewatch it because it's been a while. I remember watching it the first time and being like, "What the fuck?"
It's dark.
And then watching it later in life, probably in my mid-20s, I was like, "Oh, this is actually a good movie."
Right.
I think it might have been I think it was a marketing problem because it's like Jim Carrey had done Ace Ventura, The Mask, Ace Ventura, like all these movies that are like not like Cable Guy at all.
You expect it to be more of what we know Jim Carrey for, and he had this sudden, unannounced, and complete departure from what he normally does.
And I didn't understand it.
A lot of people
when I
didn't.
saw it as a kid, I didn't understand what the movie was about.
Right, because you're like, oh, your parents be like, oh, it's safe. It's Jim Carrey. He does funny movies. It's dark.
Yeah. It's
dark and creepy and scary at points. So he's just been all around, you know. And this movie, this and Ace Ventura really solidified for me. His first movie was called Rubber Face.
Yeah.
It was a really... You know, it was obviously just tons and tons of sight gags and him showing what he's physically capable of. And then he was also in Fright Night, the original Fright Night. I think it was Fright Night. It was Vamp. The name of the movie is Vamp. It's a vampire movie that he was in. And I think this was even well before like In Living Color and stuff.
Earth Girls Are Easy. that's the earliest thing I ever remember seeing him in.
But
he's in this I heard he's in this like cruise movie, like a boat cruise movie. I can't remember the title of it, but that was like one super early on.
I don't know that one. But anyway, yeah, this was a lot of fun for me. And if you haven't seen The Mask, or if you haven't seen it in a while, I'd be shocked if any of our listeners haven't seen The Mask.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, you should give it a watch. Put yourself right smack in the middle of the 90s again and give it a watch.
I want to see The Mask redone, but I want Amy Sedaris to play Stanley Ipkiss.
That would be amazing.
Because there were so many things that like The Mask would do where it's like, man, I feel like Amy Sedaris would just do this.
That's
her.
Perfect. Right. No, that's actually a really good idea.
He puts on blue eyeshadow, and turns into Amy Sedaris.
That's a really good idea.
It's David Sedaris who puts on eyeshadow and becomes Amy Sedaris.
David Sedaris plays the cop.
Yeah.
Which I love the cop.
He was in Animal House.
What?
Yeah,
Who did he play in Animal House?
He was one of the frat boys in Animal House. Yeah.
That's wild.
It's an old movie.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, he was in Animal House with John Belushi.
The cop to me felt like we want Dustin Hoffman, but we pay Jim Carrey a lot. And these computer cartoons, they're expensive.
Yep. Yep.
There is I don't know if this was intentional. Probably not, because it was the 90s. But there was something in this movie that I thought was really, really funny watching it in 2024. And being the person that I am, the city that this takes place in is called Edge City. And there is, before the mask robs the bank, there are a group of robbers who are going to rob it before he shows up, and he beats them to the punch. The robbers are in a van, which is down by the river.
Down by the river.
Which is, they're undercover. They're in an electric utility van. And on the side, it's like a light bulb, and it says, Edge City Power, service worth waiting for. And I thought that was fucking hilarious, because it's like, is there an edging joke in my fucking Mask movie from the 90s? This is great. Service worth waiting for? What the fuck is happening?
I also like that they met at Landfill Park.
I know, yeah.
That was really good.
The methane,
all the greens and
The condom in the wrong pocket definitely went over my head as a kid.
Dude, I said the same thing when we were watching it. I looked at Nikki. I was like, yeah, that did not register for me at all. Also, this is based on a comic. I didn't know that. This is based on a comic. Dark Horse was mentioned in the credits as a thing. So I didn't do any research on that, but apparently this is based on a comic.
Okay.
I think I knew that it was based on a comic, but I never obviously read
Has anybody
it.
ever seen Son of Mask?
No, I knew it exists.
I haven't either.
But I haven't
I've seen a few clips, and it looks as bad as it is rated.
Yeah.
I actually think I have seen it.
Because it's Jamie, what's his name? Jamie Kennedy. Plays Stanley Ipkiss, his son. And then, as much as I fucking love guy who plays Nightcrawler, he's Loki in it.
Oh, God.
Donnie Darko.
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Nope.
Oh, different Nightcrawler. Not the movie The Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler from the X-Men.
The X-Men
I don't know who the fuck that guy is.
Alan Cummings.
Alan Cumming.
Yep.
Yes.
It's another Edge joke.
Who I might be related
Because I think there was a
What?
Mask 2, but it got canceled. And then like 20 years later, they came out with Son of the Mask. And it was like, it is down there as one of the worst movies ever.
Ian's related to Nightcrawler?
I'm saying I might be distantly related to Alan Cumming because of the surname Cummings.
Oh,
My
gotcha.
mom's maiden name.
Right.
It all goes back to Scottish clans.
Oh, shit.
And he's, I mentioned before that I'm very likely and very, very, very distantly related to Robert the Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
That's all in the same
That explains why you can teleport.
clan. And Alan Cumming has a castle in Scotland, so I'm going to see if he'll let me have it. It's me. It's Ian.
You know.
My mom was Cummings.
You might know me from narrating the illustrations from the Dark Tower series.
Well, you guys want to talk about the game, The Mask?
Yeah, I do want to talk about the game, The Mask, for the Super Nintendo.
I'm going to jump right in with this one.
Jump in. Both feet.
And I'm going to say, from my personal perspective, we got one. I liked it.
I did too.
It was a good game. It was a good game. I had a good time. I didn't play it much, but what I did play, I enjoyed. And I thought they put a lot of thought into it. It was very, very reminiscent of the movie. It had the right music. It had the right graphics. It had the right controls. I think this was finally
Had a good variety of things you could do.
very
as the
good
Mask.
variety of things you could do. It wasn't a hard game.
No,
which is
it's fine.
okay.
I liked that. It was a
Having a-
leisurely kind of like thing.
Yeah,
And I thought it looked great.
it looked so good the way he moved. His body would move, but his head stays still.
Yeah, they captured the
got
fucking essence of the mask.
got it.
And it's like there's you can do so much with him. Like you
Yeah.
get to hold down R and he sneaks. I don't know if it actually does anything.
But it was fun to watch.
But it's fun to watch, and it's like he sneaks in the movie.
The
where it's-
speed run of this game is fucking bonkers.
That because you can really fucking move.
Yeah.
You can hold both shoulder buttons
To zip.
and boy, he can scoot. The jump, you got a double jump or an up and jump makes you go really high.
Right.
You got a tornado move. You've got a sledgehammer, and boxing gloves.
The
and
horn,
the guns. I mean, they really put a lot of thought into what you could do. This was
I like the two
selling
different, the
point.
health and the mask points to use all your mask abilities.
Yeah.
and they regenerate.
And the power-ups were plentiful. They were generous.
Yes.
Which made it just made it fun to play. Like, I mean, like I wasn't worried really about anything when I was playing the game. It was just like, this is a fun game.
It was
where
quick,
it's like
it's snappy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I liked it. I was
did too.
surprised. I really was. I thought this was going to be a real fucking stinker.
Me too.
And that might be part of it. I went in with low expectations.
No, I think this is actually a pretty good game.
And I thought like the intro was pretty nice too. It's like with the fucking mode 7 first person view of like the mask going on.
Yeah.
Like that was fucking wild.
I love the way that they like when after you select your options. First of all, you've got tons of options. You can select, easy, normal, and hard. You can choose how many lives you want to play with. You can set sound options. All the stuff is there, which has been lacking from a lot of the games we've been playing lately.
Did you say you could change the controls?
Yes, you can change. Well, I didn't say it, but yes, you can change the
I thought
controls.
I always like
remap the buttons.
That. Yeah,
the
because that
way
was a
you want.
rare thing for console games.
But once you fire up the game, it takes you to a nice little, well-drawn map of Edge City,
which I thought was odd because it looks like you can select your location or something.
It does, but it just shows you where
shows
you're.
you
Looks
where
like
you
Hey
are.
Arnold's
Yeah.
neighborhood.
It does look like it
Style,
for sure. But I thought that was neat. I thought they put a lot of energy and effort into this game.
It has boss fights. A lot of
Yeah.
games like this don't. You just finish
Yeah.
the level.
They're kind of weird
They are very
because I thought it's weird that like
They're
in the
Earthworm Jim-esque.
Dude, I've got in my notes. This has Earthworm Jim vibes, and it's not just like the boss fights. It's also like one of the things I liked about this game that reminded me of Earthworm Jim is the first time you encounter something that you can interact with, it shines. Like just there's just
Gives you a little
there's sparkle on it. And
Lets-
Earthworm Jim did that with hooks and stuff.
Gets you a
Where it's
little
just
hint.
like, oh, I can interact with this object.
Otherwise, I wouldn't know
Excellent.
anything about getting sucked up into grates and
no
shit.
shit, right? Which I thought, but when you do it, it's like, oh, that's cool. You can go into the grates.
You can
like,
go into the
that's
grates,
in
and
your
it's-
mist form.
It's executed nicely.
The animation looks good.
The animation
Yeah.
looks good, both top and bottom. You coming out of the pipe at the top or whatever. Yeah, good game.
It's good.
It's
It's
a good
good.
game. I was again. It was. I'm not great at platformers, but I played through the first 2 levels, and I enjoyed it. I had a good time, and when I couldn't do well, I wanted to keep trying.
And what's nice is when you die, they nothing respawns. The enemies don't respawn. You are sent back to the beginning of the level
Or a checkpoint.
or a checkpoint. But at that point, you've explored it, so you already know where you need to
You
go.
can speed run back to where you
and
were.
you can exactly, and that's really nice. I mean,
It really, really is.
and you could argue where it's like, well, you should just spawn right back where you died, but the levels are so packed with stuff and like hidden passages that if you do that, you might end up cheating yourself out of like finding a 1-up or finding some kind of power up. And
Yeah.
I was really surprised, really
Me
surprised by
too.
this game.
Me too.
The big sandboxy, mazy platformer is not my favorite,
Me neither.
but this is definitely the more tolerable than the last 10 of
Yeah,
that style.
totally.
That we've done.
Easily.
Yeah, and I think it's because it is like I got as far as the level design goes, this is going to sound weird, but I got RoboCop versus Terminator.
Oh,
vibes
absolutely. Those
because it's real
big,
mazy. Yeah,
mazy levels. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
but
I
it's
thought the same
but the
thing.
gameplay's way faster,
Oh, yeah.
and it's also much more forgiving.
And you're way more maneuverable.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
You can like jump and hold it and ride across the ceiling. If you don't turn off your tornado, you keep being tornado till your little mask meter
Yeah.
runs out.
Right,
You know,
which
I mean,
will then regenerate.
it just
which I think is
regens.
nice
I did.
too.
Yeah,
So
whenever I ran out, I
nice.
was like, I ran out when I was fighting those slow moving, fire launching, ball swinging things on level 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck, what am I gonna do now? I can't even hit that thing with
Right.
the sledgehammer. Then I noticed, they regenerate slowly. Okay.
Yeah.
That's something. Otherwise, you have to find mask M's to
And
get more points
that
back.
regenerates it and makes it go a little higher than your baseline.
Yeah, because everything the punch, the boxing glove doesn't take points. but
Right.
everything else they can do takes mask points.
Yep.
And I thought it was really neat that like the sledgehammer, at first I'm like, okay, it's a pretty powerful attack. And then realizing that you can use the sledgehammer to break the floors
Break
that have
through the
cracks
floor.
in them. It's like, whoa, all right, this is
Exactly.
pretty fucking neat.
That is neat.
And then it's along the same lines of like going through those vents and stuff
Yeah.
where it's like, oh wow, this is like a lot of, you're right, it feels like a lot of effort went into designing this game.
Absolutely. And it's not super easy to die. You know,
No.
you get plenty of lives. I think 5 is a lot.
Plenty of power ups.
Plenty of power-ups, not to mention the fact that it really takes a lot of hits to finally kill you. And even when you get
As it
killed,
should.
you don't die. It's just him pulling the mask off.
Yeah.
Then you're Stanley.
Which-
and I thought that was a nice touch.
Which that I like that you bring that up because I meant to talk about this when we were doing the movie talk. But if I were Stanley, I would just wear that fucking mask all the time because you're invincible.
Right. And well, I think it would come off at night in daytime.
During the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he'd wake up and it'd be on the pillow next to him. So I think at sunrise.
It just comes off.
But I mean,
And
as
that's
soon
why
as
it
the
didn't
sun
work.
sets, I'm sitting in my house until dark and then pop, going back
Right.
out. Yeah, I'm with you
Okay.
on that.
All right. Now, so that explains why it wasn't working when he was in Ben Stein's office.
Yeah. I think it had to be at
Even
night.
if it had been at night, Loki would have fucked with him and not.
See, that's what I thought was
Yeah.
happening in
Yeah.
the office was it's Loki, so because it's like the dancing frog thing.
Yeah, no
right?
one can know about this. I'm
right.
not fucking doing that.
Yeah.
Hello, my
secret.
baby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, I think it was just day versus night.
Okay.
Which is
All
one
right.
thing which I'm torn because I'll have something I wish I would have seen in the game, but if I would have had it, I feel like I would have bitched about it to be more like how it is. So, but I wish you weren't always the mask. I wish there were some times where you were Stanley and had to find it.
Dude, I was thinking about it'd be nice if there were like dating sim style segments where it's like you go through dialogue trees as Stanley and they're all bad options.
Yes.
And you have to like choose the least bad option.
Absolutely. I thought that too. I thought, man, I want some Stanley, because it would be funny. It would just be funny.
Like
You
that's the
can't
penalty
win.
for dying.
You
He
can't-
takes the mask
Yes.
off and then you go into this
Yes,
dialogue
you have to spend
tree.
like 5 minutes going
talk your
through
way
talking
out
your
of-
way out of a situation or talking to a woman, getting kicked out of the club.
But I can see if that had been the case, I then would have bitched like, it's only fun if you're the mask, so why do you have to play Stanley? So I'm just
Right.
like, would either one make me happy? I don't know.
And this was made for kids. Like I feel like this game knew its audience was kids, and then also podcasters in their late 30s
are
to early
still
50s. And so,
But in game version, there are 3 different versions of the mask, though. Since you can be the mask, run into Milo wearing the mask,
Right.
and you fight Dorian at the end where he's wearing the
wearing the
mask and
mask.
you're wearing the mask.
so what you're saying is there's 3 masks or 2
At
for
least
sure,
2.
at least 2, possibly 3 masks.
And Milo and Dorian share the other mask.
Hey, my part in the game's coming up, Milo. I need you to.
You go take it over. Man.
It's like, I love in the movie when he pulls the mask off of Milo, and you see his little eyes and his tongue pop out. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a surprise.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's just because my bar is already so low. I do think this one qualifies as actually
If I
a
got
good
this as
game.
a kid, I would have liked it.
This
I
would have been a
read
buy.
I would have played the game and read the book and been perfectly happy.
This would have been a buy
Yep.
for sure. No birthday, no rent. I'm
Yep.
buying this one for sure because it was a lot of fun. This is the first time I've played a Super Nintendo game in a long time since I've started being a part of this show in any way that I really actually enjoyed my experience with the game. And it felt good. It felt like the movie. It had stuff from the movie.
I know that's a big thing for you.
It is a big thing for me.
Yeah,
and
I'm glad it delivered.
But that's not the only thing that matters. You know,
Sure.
being like the movie with bad gameplay is not an okay thing.
Right.
But they got it right this time. And
They got both.
They got both. Almost perfect. I thought the cat thing was a little much.
Yeah, the dude just has a million cats.
It was too easy to get
must
hit
be
by
throwing
the cats.
out of Mr. Wilson's house.
Right.
From the Dennis the Menace.
Exactly. But also when you get hit, you fall back too far. It was very easy to like get hit by one of the cats and then fall through floor after floor after floor. But it was also easy enough to jump back up there. It wasn't a whole slog. They gave you enough power to be able to super jump or whatever. Everything costs mask points, high jumps, slides, using your hammer, using your guns, and some things use more of those mask points than others. But they always give you a way out
you can
of a
always
jam
regenerate, yep.
to get back to where you need to be. And that alone made it worthwhile, just because they're not trying to punish you.
Right. Yeah.
They're trying to give
it's
you
not a punishing
they're
game.
trying to give you an enjoyable, fun experience. And they did it. They did it. It worked.
There's some jank to it, which is kind of on one hand, it's like, yeah, it's kind of charming, where it's like, but on the other hand, it's like, they probably could have gone through another like round of polish, where I figured out by accident, like when you fall from a great distance, you kind of like pancake, cartoon style. However, if you use the sledgehammer right before you hit the ground, that doesn't happen.
Oh, neat.
So it's like, but there's no special animation or anything for it. It's just so it looks
glitchy,
real janky.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
But I mean, whatever. That's a real nitpick kind of thing,
Yeah.
and I don't really think it detracts. That kind of stuff doesn't detract from the game. I like Ghosts and Goblins, so like
Right.
a lot of jank is. There's a special place
Feature,
in my
not a bug.
heart for like shit like that, where it's like, that's a little janky. It doesn't
it's
destroy
charming.
the game,
It's charming.
but it's a little janky.
This is Black Pearl Software that developed this one.
Right.
I think they hit a home run.
Yeah.
We did get an email from
Sure.
Brad.
Yes.
If you don't mind, I'd like to read
Please.
that. Brad writes, "Hi all. I grew up in West Virginia, and every other weekend my dad would pick me up and drive me to his place in the area of Kentucky that's about as far as you can get from Paducah and still be in the same state."
Pikeville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that part of the state, and
Me too.
Brad, I'm sorry. On our way, we would pass and often stop at the Huntington Mall in Barbersville, West Virginia, which has Billy Bob's Pizza Wonderland, one of the only places where you can still see the animatronic Rockafire explosion perform. It's weird
Still?
because it was called Showbiz and Chuck E. Cheese in my neck of the woods. There was also a movie theater there, and in 1995, we passed a giant theater sign near the mall entrance, and all it said for this movie was Mask. I know where this is going. My dad starts laughing at the idea that a bunch of people would line up to see Jim Carrey, only to find the theater was showing the movie from 1985 where Cher helps her son Eric Stoltz deal with having a giant gross face.
Yeah.
The movie is called Mask, not The Mask, just Mask. That was me, not him saying that. There's an alternate universe where THQ or someone made a platformer for the NES based on Mask. This is not that universe, unfortunately.
Side note, did I take the time to search for the Huntington Mall 1990s TV commercial? I did.
Oh,
I did. I
nice.
found it. It's great.
Oh, good.
I'll share it.
Okay, maybe that would be our bumper. Send me that link. I'll
got
make it the bumper.
Yeah.
The Mask from the November of 1995 Game Pro by Captain Squidio. More than a year after Jim Carrey's marvelous Mask made its cinematic debut, THQ has finally brought the strange story to the SNES. While the game seems late, the Carrie's wild character is still fresh, and solid gameplay makes this lightweight adventure a fun trip. I will tell you this. I believe that most of these video games came out alongside VHS releases to help promote
Yeah.
the
That makes
movie
sense.
being to rent the movie, because they would start to count those in their overall numbers. So anyway, next section. That masked man. In the game, as in the movie, mild-mannered loser Stanley Ipkiss becomes a cocky cartoon-style hero when he dons a magical mask. You guide green-faced Ipkiss on a standard search for cash, power-ups, and his girl. The 7-level journey leads you from Stanley's apartment through the sewers and eventually into the Coco Bongo Club. Constant reminders of the film, the old lady landlord in the first level, and Milo the masked dog in the second keep the game's basic run and jump gameplay and easy to beat enemies lively. Likewise, entertaining controls deliver some of the movie's magic, i.e. giant boxing gloves, armloads of guns, and Stanley's ooga horn are all available to blow away bad guys. And this game's Ipkiss gets around, bouncing extra high, running super fast, and sneak walking. On silver screen and game screen, Ipkiss is a cool guy with cool moves. Except for the animations of Ipkiss himself, the graphics lack snap. Bland backgrounds and enemies are closer to 93 standards than 95 potential. Stanley's details almost compensate. His strut, sneak, and Cuban Pete dance are perfect, adding the visual verve that Mask fans demand. The movie music suits the gameplay, which it does. I love the music was groovy. Love this music. And the predictable boings and whistles are adequate. Unfortunately, there are almost no vocals, just quick snippets of hey and smoking. More prominent Ipkissisms would have made this mask more memorable.
It's a Super Nintendo game,
It's
though.
how you-
And it's got
you
content.
can't-
It's not one of those where it's like, well, we fit several lines from the script in the movie,
yes,
and then
exactly.
you just have the same. You're fighting the. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
getting
So
upset.
the final section. Okay,
George
so it
is
isn't
getting
a
upset.
landmark action adventure game the way Earthworm Jim was. There's another Earthworm Jim reference. Nor is it brain surgery. You'll beat this game in a weekend, but at least it'll be a fun weekend. I cannot. 3.5 for graphics, sound, and fun, and a 4.0 for control. I think they got pretty close. Of course, there's lots of pro tips in the article that tell you how to get through vents and how to look behind walls, like walk behind walls for hidden stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Things like that.
Which I think this game does a really good job of rewarding you for exploring, because a lot of times I don't like to explore in games is because it's a waste of time. It feels like,
Yeah.
where it's like you take your time to like, oh, is there something up there? Nope. Sweet. Well, I don't get that.
At least
minute
there wasn't a
back.
clock. At least there wasn't a clock on this game, right?
Well, there's
Oh,
plenty
there's
of clocks
plenty of
on
alarm
this,
clocks.
in this
I
game.
mean, yeah, no, there's plenty of alarm clock, a timer. There was no
timer,
timer. Brad continues, this review is from page 88 of the magazine. Page 87 had an ad for the game. Funny how that would happen sometimes. The box art got the coveted only for Nintendo logo. Pretty sweet console exclusive. And there's a big, huge, full-page article for the Mask game. Adios, amigos. Sincerely, Brad from Arizona. Thanks, Brad.
Thanks,
Hey,
Brad from
Brad.
Arizona.
If you'd like to order the Mask, the game, The Mask, only for Super Nintendo directly, you could dial 1-800-4FUN-004, extension 55, and order it.
What's that number?
1-800, just 800 these days,
Okay.
4, and then fun, whatever that translates
That would
to.
be 3, 8, 6.
What is this, 2001? Out text like that. 004,
What's the extension?
55.
Hello, and please listen carefully as our menu options may have changed.
Mask.
Calls are recorded for quality assurance. We're very excited to tell you about a special promotion for select callers. This will only take a moment. By answering just a few questions,
They're gonna
we
sell
will
you a
find out if this
timeshare.
offer is right for you. Just
The
for
Mask.
calling in today, you have the opportunity to receive special pricing on TV, internet, and phone services from DirecTV.
It's
is your
DirecTV.
source for the best in TV entertainment. Bundle DirecTV.
What's your
and high-speed
favorite
internet
Norse
from
god?
AT&T and get the best of
This
both
is a
worlds
test.
for one low price.
This is all a Loki
Loki's
trick.
tricking you.
Press 2 now to be transferred to a DirecTV agent.
What's the extension?
Press
55.
2 now to speak with a DirecTV agent about this special pricing. Having issues with pests like mice, roaches, spiders, bed bugs, termites, or other nasty
Yes, but that's
intruders?
inconsequential to this
How
conversation.
you can protect your home today with the leading providers in termite and pest control services. If pests come
Thank you for
back
calling
between
Scam-A-Lot.
so
What thing can we peddle to you?
Would you like someone to stop those pests?
We'll smoke them out.
Press 1 now.
Somebody stop them.
Fire ants? Those are spicy meatballs.
Well, we tried. We tried to order the mask.
Because, I mean, if you could get it brand new, wrapped up for, $60, why not?
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's Brad's letter.
Thank you,
And,
Brad.
I think the article from GamePro covered it nicely. I tend to agree with it. I do think I maybe. Were they on a 4-point scale?
They were on a 5. GamePro was
I think
on a
it's 5.
Because I'm going through the faces. Like
Yeah,
5.
they-
I think 5 was the excited face. I think 4 was the thumbs up.
I think I would have rated it a little higher. Given it a
Yeah, I
little
think they
more
were harsh on the
credit. They were
graphics. I felt
hard
like
on
that
it.
was-
but
I didn't like the sound as much as you did. I thought it was okay. I thought it was serviceable.
I'm saying the music.
Yeah, well, sorry. Yeah, it was fine.
Okay. Yeah.
It was serviceable for me. It fit.
It did fit.
It fit.
Maybe that's why I liked it.
Yeah.
Because it was appropriate to the theme of the movie.
It totally was. Yeah, it fit. Do you guys have any achievements for the game?
I have a couple.
Do we all have the same one?
I know I have one that you probably also both have.
Would you like to say it at the same time?
See if we get it?
Yeah.
You want to do that one first?
Yeah, our collectively first achievement.
All right. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Ah, yes. Cuban Pete.
Yep, we both did. Yes. Cuban Pete.
I got so excited watching the movie. I was like, I get to say this in the
Yep.
show.
Me too. I just beat the Coco Bongo Club.
I
That.
put. Did you see the idle animations? Oh, I love. That's one of my favorite things.
Does
like,
he switch into the Cuban
switches?
Pete costume?
He switches into
Oh
the
my
Cuban Pete with the
God.
maracas. Is one of them. The other one is he does. Well, this one doesn't make as much sense. He does like the heart pounding.
Oh, okay.
I miss that from video games. I used to remember renting video
Just to see
games
what
and
the
being
idle
like,
animation
"Oh, I wonder what the idle animation is."
That's awesome. All right. So we both had yes. Cuban Pete. My second one is now you have to ask yourself, do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? And that one, you use the big guns to finish off the second thug boss. So you press up and fire, and he pulls out all the guns. And it's almost like a screen clear.
Because you basically in the speed runs, it's
I
like
didn't know
them
you could
dashing
do
all
it.
over the place, run to the boss, and do that like 5 times, and then you're done. Level over.
The second one is, are you on the list? No, but I think my friends are Franklin, Grant, and Jackson. And to get that, you collect 99999 money.
Nice.
And then the last one I have is forget her. That girl will pull your heart out, put it in a blender, and hit frappe. And to do that, use the tornado to beat Mrs. Peenman, the landlord, at the beginning. Boy, you gotta punch that old woman.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
she's
Lord.
For
tough.
like a solid
tough old
minute.
broad.
If you can get her cornered.
With her giant Moonernite bullets.
Yes. If you can get her cornered against the wall and just start punching with your punching gloves, your boxing gloves, it was 150 punches, maybe. just pop, 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 and she wasn't going down. That woman was tough. Unless you have enough points to just use the tornado. If you can avoid her bullets, that tornado will fuck her right up. So there you go.
I've got a couple that are aside from yes, Cuban Pete. The second of which is nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask. In order to unlock, nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask. Find a 1-up, which is a mask. It's just another mask.
It just floats there.
There's a lot of masks, it turns out. There's more than-
You're right. They found one of the 1-up masks and put it on.
The whole fucking game full of masks.
My next achievement is Cartoon Hangover. In order to unlock Cartoon Hangover, you die and pull the mask off, turning back to Stanley. Next achievement is 500 Black Pearl. In order to unlock 500 Black Pearl, you just say that when the Black Pearl logo comes on and you think about Matt's dad, Bruce, who played UO with us and got excited one day that he found 500 Black Pearl.
Yes, I remember that. Core memory unlocked.
And my last achievement is Zoot Suit Quiet. In order to unlock Zoot Suit Quiet, you turn the sound off in the options before playing the game.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that one.
I've got 3. First one being, let's do the time warp again. Smash 10 clocks with your sledgehammer.
I thought it was going to take a step to the left.
So to the left. Not the second one being not that Balrog, the other one, the punchy one. Complete a whole level with only punches.
Okay.
Nice.
And the last one, JFK style, no, historically. That is, you complete a level without ever getting the hat.
Oh,
which
the
is
checkpoint. Yeah. mhm.
Because hats were in style until JFK didn't wear one in a speech. And then everybody stopped wearing hats.
Good achievements.
Or Flopsy. Do you want to see what Flopsy has to say about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think Flopsy has to say about it?
That was a prompt.
I know.
Boy, I bet they gave this one some points. I'm going to say, and I think it probably had to have been pretty high demand because it was a kid's game, a good game for kids. I'm going to say, I'm tempted. 4 stars.
Ooh.
Common.
Woo. All right.
Could be. I know I
That's
could
a
be
big
way off.
swing. I love it.
It's a big swing.
I love it.
It's a big swing, but
4
I
common.
have faith in Flopsy.
Okay. All right. Tyler?
So where I do, like I did, I also enjoyed this game. I still think we could be a little starved for good games.
Yeah.
So gems like this shine brighter.
Jim Carrey's.
Fair
So
enough.
I will say 3 stars common.
3 stars common. I'm kind of in that 3 stars common boat as well. I think Flopsy is generally pretty lenient with games. So I can't imagine this is going to be anything lower than a 3-star game, but I hate to share it. So I'll go 3.5. We'll split it. I'll split
the
it with you guys.
difference.
3.5 common.
Do you think it's common as well?
I do think it's
Yeah.
common. This is a huge movie. Maybe
Huge
very
IPO.
common.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it. So that's why I said
I
common.
think it's common. I don't know
because
about
had I
very.
seen it, I would have rented it.
Yeah. I know I didn't see it. So I can agree with that sentiment.
So we're all common.
We're all
and
common.
Range from 3 to 4 stars.
Heard that before.
Yeah.
I get that some point today. Someone told me that.
Has anyone ever told you how common you are?
Turns out, yes.
If I were to kill you, all your loot would be common. Has anybody ever said that?
That's much nicer than the way I thought you were going to go. Would anyone even notice?
That's what I thought too. Would anyone really care?
According to Flopsy, a.k.a. the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the SNES Library, 1991 through 1998, by Pat Contry, courtesy of Monster Mold Mike, and a shadowy, mysterious benefactor. The Mask. Availability. Very uncommon.
What?
Huh.
Very uncommon.
Wow. Way off on that one.
3.5 stars.
Good one.
There you go. You got it.
Very uncommon.
But only because I didn't want to say 3. I didn't want to have the same answer as you.
This
But
was
3
a
is what I was thinking.
huge fucking movie. This was the... That blows my mind.
It was published by THQ in 1995, and I don't know when THQ was going through that when they were phasing out.
Yeah,
I don't know if that might have had something to do with it. I don't know if it was
pushed
95.
out right before they folded.
It's also late in the SNES cycle, so maybe that has something to do with why it wasn't prolific as well. But yeah, very uncommon and surprising. The reflections from MV say, I decided to rewatch The Mask the day after I reviewed the game, and oh boy, is it terrible. My 7-year-old daughter really seemed to enjoy it, though. At the time it was released... You're just talking about the movie. What is this, TADPOG podcast?
Oh, shit. And you're wrong, by the way, about your assessment of the movie.
I was going to see if Henry wanted to watch it, and then I would just decide to let him do what he wanted to do.
I had the same experience. I was going to see if Colin wanted to watch it with me today, and I was like, nah, I'll just watch it by myself.
It was one of those where it's like, I don't remember this well enough to be like, am I going to have a bunch of conversations? It's like, well, in the 90s, we used that term pretty loosely.
Right.
How much do you guys think you would pay for this game if you were to buy it used?
Well, fuck, if it's very uncommon.
I know.
And it's a good game, I can't deny. I don't think anybody could deny it's.
No other brothers could deny.
No other brother could deny. I'm going to go high on this one, too. I'm going to say $58.
$58.
$39.99.
$39.99 from Tyler. Actual retail value of The Mask. Fine. I'm not opening up anything. For the Super Nintendo, used on average, according to price charting at the time of this recording, $70.
Damn.
Man.
I'm assuming that is not in your future.
I would like to have it in the collection, but I don't know that I want to spend $70 on it.
Must be a pretty goddamn good milkshake.
Shit.
Yeah. $70.
They put bourbon in it or anything?
That would help.
It would help.
It's like, hey, along with The Mask, we're going to send you a bottle of Buffalo Trace.
And
It's a combo deal.
a McDonald's French fry beach
An Arch
towel.
Deluxe.
A beach towel and an Arch Deluxe.
Sold.
With your copy of The Mask is a ticket for a coupon for an Arch Deluxe.
Look, man, I've had worse weekends than that. Tyler,
Yes,
I had a lot of fun today talking to you boys about The Mask.
Mm-hmm.
Before we close it out, if you were to give this game a beard, what kind of game would you give the beard?
I would give it. I would give it the long ginger beard of ZZ Top.
Fly.
To where it looks pretty good, but it's also maybe a little too long.
Okay.
That's my biggest complaint about
All
it.
right. All right. Some people like a game that long. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this glasses a game, what kind of glasses would it be for the game?
I would give it the character glasses of Mike Smith
From Mike Smith Toyota?
from Mike.
He's dead. Jesus.
He also plays Bubbles on Trailer Park Boys.
Okay.
Which his glasses, which make the character of Bubbles, they look great, but he's also permanently damaged his
What?
eyesight
Oh my
by
God.
wearing them. So
That couldn't have been had to have been something that someone knew that would happen.
because he found them at like a yard
We just
sale
don't
and
have
put
the
them on.
science.
Everybody thought it was funny, so he kept wearing them, and now he has to wear glasses in real life because these have damaged his eyes.
Suffering for his art.
Yep.
Thank you. That's been the show.
Yep.
Good day.
We're gonna see what we're gonna play.
I say good day.
Play next.
I'm assuming not Roger Rabbit.
We could do Roger
Oh no,
Rabbit
Rob!
if you
I
want.
forgot about
We
that.
talked about
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit a little bit already.
We can do it. We can do it. I didn't hate Roger Rabbit. I just liked The Mask better. But Roger Rabbit has a lot going for it. I'm happy to do that if you guys
Because
want to.
I do want to do Roger Rabbit on the NES. I do want to do Dick Tracy on the NES.
We talked about Dick Tracy a long time
Oh,
ago and
boy.
never did it. Those are both spoilers I've played both of those games. One of those games I rented as a kid, and that was a disappointment.
One of those movies I watched
Ooh.
and was, oh boy, was a
I
disappointment.
haven't seen it, but I've heard how awful it is.
You heard correctly. But it would be fun to make fun of.
So we got the next two episodes lined up.
Because
or-
Dick Tracy, I might be able to get Melissa on for because her and her brother were fucking obsessed with that movie.
Okay.
You want to do it? You want to do Dick Tracy and then Roger Rabbit, or do you
We'll
need
do
to give her
Roger Rabbit,
give her a
then
week
Dick
to warm up
Tracy.
to it?
Yeah.
All right.
Give me a week to try to
All right.
convince her.
Okay.
All right, so next is Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry in advance.
Don't you love Bob Hoskins' bouncing charge punch that I know we're gonna have to do during that fucking game? Yeah, I've what the Angry Video Game Nerd covered that pretty extensively.
I haven't seen it, but I can only imagine.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Come on the show on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all over the goddamn place. But I got other important stuff going on. So how about that Patreon?
I definitely haven't misplaced my notes.
Who I'm so glad that was the reason you're making that face, because I saw that face and I was like, oh
And
shit.
I haven't
it's
been-
Are we on internal mic?
I haven't been recording at all.
That's fine. I talk like this normally.
We were just hanging out. Found it. Money, please.
Money, please.
Donate to the show at patreon.com/TADPOG. For as little as $1 a month, you can have access to all of our bonus content, which now features
Bonus content.
bonus content.
Now with bonus content.
Now with actual new bonus content.
We did it, boys.
We did it.
We did it.
Dark Tower 1 is out. We plan on releasing these every couple of weeks on Patreon. If you're a subscriber, you should have gotten an email about it. Go listen to that. Tell us what you think. If you're intrigued by that or Tyler's actual plays or their wives talking about horny stuff when they're really drunk, or me talking about
Still haven't
horny
listened to any
stuff
of those.
when I'm really drunk.
I listened to that, but I was here for that.
Yeah, you were here for that. Or we talked at some point about Joe Dirt.
We did.
We did a whole show on Joe Dirt
Weird,
for
huh?
the Patreon. So all that stuff is available for as little as $1 a month, but we do have some very generous folks who donate $20 or more to the show, which we refer to as our executive producers. And while the list may be short, it does not mean that our love for them is any less. We will read that list right now, starting
good
with
sign.
Cubicle Monkey, Plinko Nick Price, Usurper Grimm, Gamebug Prime, Nathan Eaton, Pinball Airplane Archmage, Chris Edler, sorry you couldn't be on this episode, Derek Pope Sandwich, Enthusiast Jeff Miners, congratulations on your marriage, Drinksmith Joey Webster, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Louisville correspondent, Princess Consuela, Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn Dahl, Canadian Turbo Nerd Thomas, and also thanks to Dane for putting the show on YouTube every week. And thank you again to Brad for your very informative email. We have a new donor this week. Catch Penny Gaming is a donating member now. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you
that.
for throwing that penny you caught.
Thank you for
100 of them.
We caught 100 pennies.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That's all I got. It's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive. Listen to that track from the shorts at TADPOG.com. How you guys want to close it out?
I mean, I guess is.
Oh.
What?
I was going to say, is Ian eating a bowl of static?
I didn't say anything. But we can.
That's perfect.
Yeah, perfect. So until next time.
TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler. New episodes published Wednesdays each week and are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else podcasts are hosted. Have a question or comment for the hosts? Call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. If we like it, we'll play it on the show and respond. Want to send us something? You can do that at TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. If you absolutely must send us a food item, please use caution and good judgment when doing so. Tasty snacks that look or smell funky or are past their expiration date by the time we get to them will be thrown away. Bonus content is available at patreon.com/tadpog with a minimum donation of $1 per month. You can join in on the conversation by visiting our Discord at bit.ly/tadpogdiscord. Registration is free and we'd love to see you there. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our show so you don't miss an episode. Now, where did I put that stinger? Oh, here it is.
Hey man, are you going to the Hall Show?
What Hall Show?
You know it, the National Guard Armory, March 24th.
Wow.
Yeah, it features Louisville's Mrs. Frazier, MC Square, Open Wound, HHM, and the Playful 8.
Cool, 5 bands?
Yeah, so be there. The National Guard Armory, located at 1800 Clark Street, March 24th, starting at 7 p.m. And the proceeds benefit the Heart Fund, so bring all your friends.
Cool, dude.
Playful 8 and their buddies, Wheeler Underwood's MC Squared live in the basement of Symphony Hall, August 18th at 8 p.m. It's only $3 at the door.
What else can you do in Paducah, Kentucky for $3 measly bucks?
Don't worry, no drugs or alcohol, just good, clean fun. I'm saying.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go now.
Let's run off.
Life is a shambles. And there's nothing to do in Paducah.
Say what?
December 29th, the Playful 8 and MC Square will be at Jutan Symphony Hall down in the basement. And then another show on New Year's Eve at the Civic Center across from Hannah Plaza. With Vicious Circle and the Playful 8 with MC Squared. Be prepared to rock out. We'll be rocking and rolling, hopping and shaking, hipping and jabbing, playing the soul, funk, rock, punk, rap, and even some reggae. We're even gonna be